my name is Dan Ferrisi, Group Editor, Commercial and Security with Emerald, partnering once again with HDBaseT Alliance here at InfoComm 2024, doing thought leader interviews with some of the brightest, most insightful minds in our industry. Topic of conversation here is navigating the AV and IT convergence with smart cloud management, and we have three real experts joining us here today. We have Andrew Gross, VP of Sales with Xyte, Mark Ridgwell, Senior Multimedia Consultant with Rebar Systems, and of course, Voislav, who is Product Director with WyreStorm. Thank you, all of you, for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
So let's start with first. Why would you decide to implement a cloud for AV devices? That's kind of foundational. The why.
So I think you can start with the low-hanging fruit of, I make a piece of hardware, my customer's buying this piece of hardware, I got to make sure it's working, right? The remote monitoring and management aspect of being able to support that device from anywhere in the world, that's easily step number one to adopt the cloud. But taking it the step further from that is the cloud now is your foundation for everything you want to do with that device. Everything from enabling licenses to premium features to attaching warranties, and then potentially in the next couple of years, finally implementing AV as a service, as we've always talked about. But the cloud is the foundation for that all, and implementing a cloud standard from a company that is focused on ensuring that that cloud standard is adopted and secure for everyone that uses it is really got to be the biggest reason why to adopt one.
Which is exactly where we've been sitting in a long time now. You talk about the AV IT convergence. It happened a long time ago. All of these devices and everything that we're seeing here over the next few days has the ability to be within the IT world, and it exists within the IT world. So I think what the cloud then offers is the bit that we've all been waiting for. We've been in a converged world for a long time. We've been in an area where we've been able to bring these devices together and talk to the devices, and as Andrew says, provide the customer with the ability to know that they are getting the maximum uptime out of their investment from these devices. But it's always been on a single piece of tin somewhere that we've had to bring in, individual pieces of API information or go through security protocols with various people, especially where we sit. When we sit in the financial institution, and the security element to being able to provide information on their systems, in their systems, is high on everybody's agenda in that one. So to be able to say, not only can we bring all of your devices now into one cloud environment, everybody's centralized everything, now they've centralized their systems to the cloud, we can say, we can use systems that you're already reliant on, already dependent on, and already are confident in that from a security perspective are accepted widely throughout the organization, and now we can add a layer of monitoring and a layer of remote management and support to that simply by putting everything up into the cloud where they've already moved with all their other systems.
No, and I think what Mark's talking about from this whole AV IT convergence thing is actually one of the biggest things that the AV industry start to learn and take from this entire conversation is this has already been and table stakes in the IT space, right?
It's been there for a long time. It's always been the way. And the cloud for the IT world is not new. It might be new for the AV world, but it's not new for the IT world, which makes it very easy to go and talk to clients now, because we have to talk to their network departments, their head of infrastructure, their IT departments. We're still talking to facilities people and we're still talking to AV people within the organizations, but ultimately we have to get buy-in from the IT world. And the IT world are already doing this. So there's the natural progression to just take the AV element now and push it into the cloud and provide them the same experience they've been having with all of their other systems, but include the AV side.
So Zach, what would you say about the advantages of adopting a set of cloud platform tools rather than developing completely in-house? What are some of the advantages associated with that?
Well, I would start with that we are AV manufacturer. So it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of money to go into that and develop it by yourself. So that's why I would always, and that's the path we took, we always went to a partnership with Xyte and leave it to professionals, right? Because we need to stay in our domain and develop a great AV products, but bringing it to the IT world, we leave that to professionals, and that's why it's much better to go with a partnership like this and to save a lot of effort and time to do so.
Yeah. You're letting experts do what experts do. I mean, it's the same reason why we at Xyte, we don't make hardware.
Yeah. And I think from a service provider perspective, we get to stitch the two together, right? So we get to be the people who, we're not making hardware, we're not making the the software or anything else. We get to use the efficiency of the guys who are the experts in creating the hardware, the guys who are creating the software. We can stitch it together and provide the client with the end result that they're looking for, which is one single pane environment where all of those things that they've invested in start to come from. And for us, it's not efficiently from a project perspective, from a financial perspective, whatever it is, to every single project and every single customer come along for us to try and develop something that is bespoke to them. We can take a platform that already exists, we can deploy it, and we can get up and running as quickly as possible, which is the idea all around, you know?
So let's talk next steps. Implementing, offering an AV cloud. What are the next steps we should keep in mind? You want to start with that, Mark?
So one of the things that we've seen that is a really, excuse the pun, exciting bit for us using the Xyte platform that as we are with a number of our clients now, is the phase 2 of the projects. When we get on to the fact that we've provided them with the monitoring and they already can see the uptime and everything that's going on within their systems, now we're in a situation where we can start to create within their now familiar environment that they're logging into on the cloud, where they see their hosted services, we can create effectively an online store for them where we can start to build in services that they then might want to purchase from us moving forward. So we create standards. That's what we do. We provide all of our customers globally with standards. That means that whether that's a service or a room type or a product set that is being deployed throughout their locations, we can say, right, next time don't come to me or come to your integrator or whoever it is and say, right, I need a quote for this, we go through this. They can simply log into their single pane, their familiar environment, and we can create buckets for them within the platform to say, here we go, right, we need to buy another 6 months worth of on-site service from Rebar or from whoever their service. We can say, okay, we know we're going to be opening up an office and we're going to have another 5 room types and we know what's in that room type. So here we need to go. I log in, I say, right, here's my type 1 bucket room, here's my products for that room. Add to cart, away we go. That comes to me as a service provider and then I can go away and facilitate what needs to happen. Again, it speeds up the process. It makes it efficient in an environment that everybody is used to doing. Logging onto a platform, going through a shopping list, adding it to their cart and buying it. And that is something that for a long time, I guess in the AV world, has been a really hidden, bespoke environment to be in. And it doesn't need to be. It just needs to be something that people are familiar with. They run through what they want and we can process the request for them.
Andrew, as we begin to wrap up the conversation, I'd like to turn to recommendations. Of course, integrators are watching this, OEMs are watching this. If they're thinking about implementing a cloud, what recommendations would you share? What key takeaways would you give to them?
I mean, just kind of summarizing what we've been saying so far today of not trying to go out there on your own and building your own cloud and wasting the time, the money, and the resources to build something that honestly is going to be subpar, potentially be insecure, but also take away focus from what you do great, right? What makes your beer taste better, what is focusing on great hardware. Obviously, using a standards-based platform is that. But I'll take it one step further, and that is the kind of the next step that we're focused on, especially here at the show, is the democratization of the cloud. And finally making it a standard that OEMs and integrators need to be adopting together. Because at the end of the day, we all have the same customer. We're all servicing a large enterprise, a small enterprise, a large education university, a small community college. It doesn't matter who they are, but they're the ones that are paying the bill. And they have expectations of specific hardware that they're purchasing, and they're investing a lot of time in your product. And when they do so, they expect it to work. They expect it to always be online. They expect it to be always up to date with the greatest features and functionalities. But finally, what we're seeing is that they're finally expecting this to be managed and monitored on a single pane of glass. And really, that can only be done if you begin to adopt a standard. We've already seen it, Dan, in standards of communication protocols. Why not a standard from a cloud communication protocol? It should be the exact same, and it's only going to benefit everybody in the chain when folks like now Zek can go out there and say, hey, by the way, my WyreStorm device can be managed next to your other manufacturer ABC's device because it's better for the customer. And now WyreStorm can focus on making better hardware and adding new features and not worrying about the cloud and how it's being monitored. And folks like Mark over here from Rebar, they can focus on managing not just one device from one manufacturer or having 7 tabs up on their display to be able to manage one single room. They can finally go to a single pane of glass, support their customer, and really make sure that that end user is getting the value that they paid for.
Well, I think you make a great point, Andrew, and I think it really does, as you say, add value up and down the chain. It lets people focus on the experts in what they are experts in. It gives them the tools they need to deliver outstanding outcomes. So thank you, one and all, for being here today. Really appreciate it.